Alright, yo, what's going on, boys? So today's video, as you can see in the title, is I want to talk about calibration systems. To me personally, this is the current worst mechanic in Once Human, and it's been the worst mechanic in Once Human since almost all the betas. Currently I have about 200 hours into the live version of the game, and I have about another 200 to 300 in the betas, and this has been an issue from the get-go, and it hasn't changed since. So this video is going to be broken down into a few different sections. So first we're going to talk about how and what the issue is with farming for calibrations right now. Then we're going to talk about why they are bad, and then we're going to talk about how personally I think they can be fixed, some solutions that can help both PvE servers and PvP servers as a whole, or it can just help them separately and target specific things. That way everyone is happy. So yeah, let's jump straight into that. Okay, so first things first, we're going to talk about how and what calibrations are. So if you stumble upon a calibration, we'll talk about how you get them in a second. So you would go here, you'll go to your advanced gear bench, you would press J, and you would go to said weapon, and then you would say you get a good roll you want. You would simply replace it, put it on, slap it on, and that's going to cost you 500 source, which is pretty expensive, but for me I think that's worth it. But the only issue is acquiring these, and how you acquire these calibrations is, and I mean this, the only current way possible to do so right now in the game is to go into Red Sands, a high tier area, and loot as many weapon crates as possible. You will see many streamers, many content creators advertising to do this, and that's just simply because it is the only way to currently quote unquote target farm these. I wouldn't call it a target farm because the odds of getting this are fucking rare. Most of the time you loot these weapon crates, you're going to get a purple, which gives you a purple calibration. Nobody wants a purple, everyone wants a legendary one. And even if you do get a legendary one, the chance of it being the specific weapon you want, super low. The chance of it being the roll you want, even lower. So basically getting these is a fucking headache. Personally, I do this run on reset every 4 hours. I do it every day, at least twice, and I have only ever gotten 2 rolls that I actually want, which is this rapid shot, weak spot on my bingo, and then the other one I got was this on my wildfire, the precision weak spot. These are the only ones that I have gotten farming. And again, I play this game a good amount. I do this on reset. That's twice a day, 4 hours, pretty much 8 hours a day. So I can't even imagine if someone plays this slightly casual that they just have zero fucking chance of getting anything. They are going to have to buy it from a player. Okay, so now let's talk about what I personally think one of the, or not one of, multiple big issue with calibration is. Obviously we just talked about farming. That's a universal server issue. But if you're on a PvP server specifically, in my opinion, the calibration system becomes even more shittier. And that is because when you are doing echo stones, you are put into chaos state. And what chaos state is, if you get killed, you have a chance of dropping your gear. So that's your armor, your weapon, which in that grand scheme of things, I don't like their current system where you drop your weapons and shit like that, simply because the trade-off is not there. This is not Escape from Tarkov. This is not an extraction shooter. I personally see 0 point in the drop gear system, but there is a way to make it worth it, and we'll get into that soon. But currently, as it stands right now, if I were to go to an Echo Stone, which the max tier Echo Stones give you like a chance to drop 2 or 3 of these Echo Stones, which will just give you 500 Star Crumb in that current situation, and you have a chance of dropping a calibration, like for example this one. If I were to sell this on my server right now, I could get upwards to 1 to 2 million energy links for this. So personally, I don't see a situation for me to bring this to a chaos state situation because the trade-off is just not there. This being 1.5 million worth and then trading that in for typically a Echo Stone, that is just not worth it for me. So when I go and do these Echo Stones, I like to bring cheap gear with like okay rolls because the incentive is just not there for me to bring something high value. Okay, so I want to extend more on that point where I said this is not Escape from Tarkov. So if I were to boot up EFT right now, and I were to go in with this, use the exact same values, if I were to go and load into a raid with 1.5 million ruble worth gun, right? I have a chance of eliminating an enemy and getting that money back. But in the current state, once human, you are going in with that value and you have zero, and I mean this, zero chance of getting that money back. And then you're like, oh wait, but they can drop their guns too. If you pick up anyone who's done the Echo Stones and gotten loot, I already deleted all this, so I can't show you one to one, but I can explain it. If you were to go and grab that loot and you were to take it to the assembly bench and dismantle it, you would just get all the mats back. That's it. You would just get something exactly like this. There, you will get no blueprint. You would just get Stardust Source and all these other resources. That's it. So you have a chance of losing something extremely high value, and your return is 500 Starcrum. If you even get the Echo Stone. That is just fucking crazy to me. Okay, enough ranting. Now let's get into how I personally think that the One's Human devs can fix this and just make the game better with these dog shit calibration system. So one, we're just gonna get straight into it. Allow players to target farm these motherfuckers, man. Monoliths, they already exist and they already drop weapon mods. If you go to any monolith, they will already drop certain weapon mods. Just put the damn guns in that loot pool. Let's just say Mirage Monolith can drop snipers. It can drop Ledgecrack. It can drop pistols. Now it doesn't need guaranteed legendary pistol, but just having that chance to know that you're always going to get a sniper or a pistol will just make the process easier. It's not going to make it so easy to the point where everyone's going to be fucking running around with the best guns, but it just allows people to have that option instead of every 4 hours, let's do a crate run. And I'm just tired of fucking doing this crate one. I want to do monoliths. I want to do dungeons. I don't want to take time to fucking run around in a city. Alright, now for the second idea I had, and this was to tie back to the Echo Stones not being worth it. They literally just need to make this singular change. Now, I see a lot of content creators saying that they should just be able to repair the weapons. I think that's stupid, personally. That defeats the whole purpose of the wish system. What's the point of wishing or buying these blueprints if you can just kill someone and get the blueprint and just keep repairing it? I don't like that idea. What I think they should do is just allow you to strip the calibration. If you loot someone's bingo, they have a bis roll, you should just be able to take it to the assembly bench and take the calibration off and keep it. Sell it, trade it, and use it on your own weapon. That would literally make the whole system where it's not worth it, worth it. Just that alone will make me want to do this more, because I'm going in with something valuable and I have a chance of getting something valuable other than the Echo Stone. So even if I don't get the Echo Stone, if I kill a player and I get their weapon with a good blueprint, I'm going to make some money there. To me, that makes it worth it in value. And my third idea was, it's a bit controversial, but I think there's potential and it can work. So if you literally look at what these blueprints are called, right? They are literally called calibration blueprints. So my idea is to literally make them a blueprint. Wow, how fucking genius, right? So, and make it only count as a world drop. So, say I'm doing a dungeon, I get this to drop, right? I should have the option to trade that blueprint to a player or use it for myself. And once I use it for myself, it's locked to me. So I get the option to craft this exact roll, this rapid style, 8.5 weak spot, 11.7 weak spot for myself at any given time. And how we make that fair and balanced is, again, it's not tradable once I use it on myself. And just make it another money sink. So let's say I just did a Echo Stone, right? And I just lost my bingo. I don't have to worry about losing major value because I know I can just, if I got it in an open world, I can just go craft another bingo, right? Bang, I crafted that. And then they would make a tab right here, right? And it's craft that calibration if I had the blueprint. I would click it, I'd craft it, and then make it cost 500 Stardust. Once I do that, I can take that calibration, and then I can click replace, and then just slap it on for another 500 Stardust. So in total, making that whole weapon cost, not including like upgrading it, but 1,000 Stardust. Personally, I think that's completely fair. I think it's completely balanced. A lot of people are sending a lot of Stardust, so just make another money sink. Why not? Now, obviously, this can sort of a headbutt with the other idea that worked, but to me, the PvP idea was a bit more general and an easier fix. But I think this blueprint idea would be like a fix for legit every server, even including the PvE ones. So obviously, if I go into do an Echo Stone, right, I lose the weapon, boom, that guy just dismantles it. He doesn't get the blueprint. But I'm not sitting there losing fucking 1.5 mil worth of energy links. I just craft it again. And again, because this game thinks it's fucking Escape from Tarkov, even though there's a loss, but there's no gain. That way, this just gets rid of the loss with the stupid ass dropping weapon mechanic. Everyone's happy, and you just do your Echo Stones as normal. I think this is completely fair, and I think it will just help the game. Because currently, right now, doing Echo Stones is a fucking nightmare, especially as a solo. It's all risk and pretty much no reward for me. So yeah, that was my general idea on how they can fix calibrations. If you have any other ideas, feel free to put them in the comments. I hope this helps. I hope this is a bit more insightful. Yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.